Session 50. Approaches to International Peace. The last class will discuss about the meaning and importance of international peace. It related to disarmament. The objective is to know some of the major treaties and landmark agreements on disarmament. After this session, you should be able to tell a few things about the major treaties, the major landmarks agreement on disarmament. Earliest efforts towards disarmament and arms control dates back to 1139, when the Second Lateran Council disallowed the use of crossbows in fighting. In the recent times, the late 19th century, the first attempt was made at Hague Conference in 1899, which outlawed certain weapons, including expanding bullets. In 1907, Hague Conference prohibited firing projectiles from balloons. The United States, Britain, France, Japan, Italy concluded an agreement at the Washington Naval Conference in 1921-22, adjusting the relative tonnage of the fleets. Another successful step was 1925 protocol prohibiting the use of poison gas and bacteriological agents in warfare, a proscription in international law that has been observed in subsequent armed conflicts. The major developments and disarmament after the Second World War are briefly discussed in this session. The Baruch Plan and Ground Kill Plan. In the post-Second World War period, a variety of arms control proposals were put forth. The Baruch Plan, 1946, suggested the setting up of United Nations Atomic Development Authority, which would place nuclear energy under international control. Baruch insisted that nations not to be allowed to employ the Security Council veto in atomic matters. The Ground Kill Plan, the same year, a Soviet plan presented by Andrei Gromyko, called instead for immediate prohibition of all manufacture and use of atomic weapons. Measures to ensure compliance would follow, but there could be no tampering with the Security Council veto. Open Skies Plan of 1955. President Dwight D. Eisenhower presented Open Skies Plan at the 1955 Geneva Summit, meeting with representatives of France, Great Britain, and the Soviet Union. Open Skies proposal called for the United States and the Soviet Union to exchange maps indicating the exact location of every military installation in their respective nations. while the French and British expressed interest in the idea, the Soviet rejected any plan that would leave the nation subject to surveillance by Western powers. Khrushchev declared that Eisenhower's open skies was nothing more than an espionage plot. Rapatsky Plan of 1957. Polish Foreign Minister Adam Rapatsky presented a limited plan called Demilitarization in Central Europe on 2nd October 1957 at the United Nations General Assembly. The proposal provided for the establishment of a nuclear-free zone, which would include the People's Republic of Poland, the Federal Republic of Germany, and the German Democratic Republic. The plan was consensus among the states of the Warsaw Pact. NATO countries rejected it. The United States and the United Kingdom saw a threat to security of NATO countries. There were many multilateral agreements since the World War II. Efforts towards arms control and disarmament have produced a variety of multilateral agreements. The Antarctic Treaty of 1961. The Antarctic Treaty was signed in 1959 by 12 nations active in Antarctica. The region was to establish Antarctica as a region of peace, cooperation. It came into force on 23rd June 1961 and is the center of a number of related agreements, which together as known as the Antarctic System. Partial Test Ban Treaty (PTBT) of 1963. Partial Test Ban Treaty or Limited Test Ban Treaty or Nuclear Test Ban Treaty was signed by the government of USSR, the United Kingdom, the United States, named the original parties in Moscow on August 5, 1963. The Treaty of Moscow was ratified by the U.S. Senate on September 24, 1963. It is a treaty prohibiting all test detonations of nuclear weapons except underground. It was developed both to slow the arms race and to stop the excessive release of nuclear fallout into the planet's atmosphere. The Outer Space Treaty of 1967. The Outer Space Treaty of 1967 is a treaty that forms the basis of international space law. Multilateral agreement signed and ratified between the US, USSR, and UK ban the permanent placement of nuclear weapons or weapons of mass destruction in the orbit around the Earth. Installation of nuclear weapons on the moon or any celestial body in outer space. Use of moon or any celestial body for military purpose. Seabed Arms Treaty of 1971. The Seabed Arms Control Treaty known as CEPA treaty, is a multilateral agreement between the United States, Soviet Union, the United Kingdom, and 91 other countries banning the emplacement of nuclear weapons on the ocean floor. Treaty of Tlatelolco. The Treaty of Tlatelolco is a conventional name given to the treaty for the prohibition of nuclear weapons in Latin America and Caribbean. This treaty was signed by 33 parties in 1967 at Mexico City. Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty of 1970. The Treaty on the Non-Proliferation of Nuclear Weapons, commonly known as NPT, is an international treaty whose objective is to prevent the spread of nuclear weapons and weapon technology, to promote cooperation in the peaceful use of nuclear energy, and to further the goal of achieving nuclear disarmament and general and complete disarmament. Opened for signature in 1968, the treaty entered into force in 1970. On 11th May 1995, the treaty was extended indefinitely. The Biological Weapons Convention of 1975. In the first multilateral disarmament treaty banning the development, production, and stockpiling of an entire category of weapons of mass destruction, the Biological Weapons Convention entered into force on 26 March 1975. It commits the 173 states which are party to it to prohibit the development, production, and stockpiling of biological and toxin weapons. The Comprehensive Nuclear Test Ban Treaty of 1996. It is a multilateral treaty by which states agreed to ban all nuclear explosions in all environments for military or civilian purpose. Under CTBT, a state party undertakes not to carry out any nuclear weapon test, explosion, or any other nuclear explosion, and to prohibit or prevent any such nuclear explosion at any place under its jurisdiction or control. Each state party undertakes to refrain from causing, encouraging, or in any way participating in the carrying out of any nuclear weapon test, explosion, or any other nuclear explosion. The Chemical Weapons Conventions of 1997. It is an arms control treaty which outlaws the production, stockpiling, and use of chemical weapons. The parties' main obligations under the convention is to prohibit the use and production of chemical weapons, as well as the destruction of all current chemical weapons. Some of the bilateral agreements should include the agreement between the United States and Soviet Union since 1963. They include anti-ballistic missile systems, treaty called Hotline Agreement of 1963, and the Ceiling on Offensive Strategic Arms Forces, also known as SALT I, and SALT II Agreement of 1979, substantially revised the quantitative restrictions software began as well to place certain qualitative constraints on superpower strategic arsenal. Most outstanding of all arms control measures adopted by superpowers are the SALT agreements. In the sphere of disarmament, both the superpowers opened talks to limit strategic arms. These negotiations came to be known as Strategic Arms Limitation Talks, SALT. Strategic weapons in modern military language are those with which the superpowers can directly hit each other's homeland. The strategic arms limitation talks negotiation entered on those strategic weapon systems, specifically the offensive type. Strategic Arms Limitation Treaty 1978, Intermediate Range Nuclear Force Treaty 1987, Missile Technology Control Regime 1987, Treaty on the Reduction of Conventional Force in Europe 1990, Strategic Arms Reduction Treaty START 1 1994, the Bush-Yeltsin Agreement of 1992, Chemical Weapons Convention of 1997, Open Skies Treaty of 2002 or Significant Treaty on Disarmament.